Okay, you guys, get ready. It is Donovan Sadiq. You've now tuned into Don't Believe the Hype, our weekly series on where we want you guys to not just go with the soundbite, but with the actual facts and determine for yourself what you may like, what you may not like. And I'm joined by my co-host, Demetra K from The Demetra K Show.
What up?
12,000 plus people listening to you on Sunday as you were talking about the R. Kelly controversy.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly. And we did do the video. Unfortunately, the video has been... I think R. Kelly's lawyers have been working a little time,
right,
trying to ban D from getting that message out because D wants to string him up by the balls.
Not quite.
Not
quite.
But it was a really, really good show. For those of you guys that did not check it out, check out the podcast. You guys can hear the show there. The video will be up, and the video is up on Facebook. If you get a chance to go to Demetra K's Facebook page, you can check it out there. But it will be up on YouTube. It's just a matter of time before they go through the copyright infringements or whatever. But excellent topic, a lot of good feedback. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on the R. Kelly thing. Mm-hmm. Has your opinion changed at all, or?
Well, I mean, I don't really have an opinion on it. I was going to talk about that in my segment.
I'm just...
No. I don't. Honestly, I don't really have an opinion of R. Kelly. Okay. I mean, obviously, I would concede the fact that he is a predator.
Okay.
But my thing is, I guess just from a personal point of view, and that's just me, I just feel like we have bigger fish to fry. You know, and as I talk...
what kind of fish? Catfish?
Well, I mean, just we have other things in our community, but I don't want to say we shouldn't focus on... What I am saying is we shouldn't focus on R. Kelly solely, because as I talked about on Sunday show, is R. Kelly the only one that should get the blame in regards to that type of behavior? Mm-hmm. That type of behavior, what I mean by that type of behavior is predatory behavior, especially in our community, is not new. Mm-hmm. As I said before, I mean, we have uncles, even fathers and cousins and friends of the families. And this obviously is not just the men, but it's women too, who prey on younger girls, younger boys, or what have you. So R. Kelly is just, to me, he's the celebrity that's out in the open. But as I challenge people, are you willing to turn in people who are doing that? Are you willing to go just as hard in the paint for the people you personally know as you are on, the internet?
Right.
Or people you don't know? Because it's easy to hold R. Kelly accountable because you'll never meet him and everybody else is doing it. But as I said too, and I know this is kind of, stepping on a lot of toes, but when perhaps if you're that woman and your daughter has come to you and said, "Ma, your man looking at me," or "your man touched me," or "your man said something crazy to me," are you also willing to put his picture all up and down the internet and talk about, "Well, I was dating Jimbo, but he touched my daughter and I think he should be taken down"? I'm not, because listen, at the end of the day, I think R. Kelly's going to be all right in regards to finances and stuff, because you hear people wanting to ruin him completely. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with ruining people. I mean... I ultimately, he'll have to answer for what he's done, but are you willing to put that same amount of effort into, let's say, ruining the people you personally know who has engaged in that behavior?
Good point.
So that's what I said. We have bigger fish to fry than R. Kelly. And I just think, too, we live in a society where everybody's an expert on everybody else.
Exactly.
But what about yourself?
Right. And, we got to look at, especially our culture, we have to look at the stuff that we put out, because look at the hip-hop culture. When we invented hip-hop, our generation invented hip-hop, it was about positivity, getting out and doing better and helping those that behind you, empowerment and stuff like that. PE, Boogie Down Productions. And for you young folks that don't know what they look it up, Professor X, Terminator, you got all these great groups. One of my favorite, X-Clan, of all times. And now it's about bitch hoe women. It's a culture that we put out, and and to me it's kind of crazy, because it's like it normalizes what R. Kelly has done. People are like, well, what's the big deal? What's going on?
But I don't even think it's that. Yeah, because music nowadays is horrible. Let's just get that out of the way. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. It's very degrading. It's just, but at the end of the day, this is a whole other conversation. who's actually at the helm of that.
Yeah, we know.
But that culture has existed long before R. Kelly, as we talked about on the show. I mean...
But I mean, it seems like it's glorified now because, like I said,
but think about a lot of stuff is glorified now that wasn't glorified back then.
Right. But what I'm saying is, it's like, okay, you got girls that are coming out of high school, rather than get a job and go to college and work their way, they rather go on the pole.
Well, I mean, because to your point, it is glorified. It's no big deal. But back in those days, women like that were they were it was seedy.
Yeah, you're on the edge of the
right. What was the song on Rumors? She says she's 6 feet tall. In the canvas, knock you to your knees. But these was rumors. This is some stuff I heard.
Right.
I didn't see her on internet or Instagram with a booty hole out and all that other stuff. It's just some stuff I heard. I didn't see it, but I heard she was that way. But so now it's transitioned from, well, you heard whoop-de-whoop, but damn, go to her Instagram page.
Exactly. Or, if you don't know that girl, get her number. You can see what she's about and see,
Right.
And like I said, I'm not defending R. Kelly because, like I said, I heard he was a dirtbag, but I did find out a lot about listening to your show. I went back because I had no idea he had lost all his publishing. But once
he never had it.
Right. Well, initially he did.
Okay.
Initially he did. In my research, I found out that the Hoffington family gets all of R. Kelly's royalties from his publishing because that was signed over to his manager, Barry Hankerson, allegedly because they had caught him with Aaliyah. That wasn't the plan to get with her. He was supposed to guide her career and produce a couple tracks, whatever. But when they caught him with her, they had the nigga by the balls and said, hey, you're going to do this now. And being illiterate and kind of younger at that time, he signed away his publishing. And that's why you see R. Kelly has a financial burden right now of this very day. So you can learn a lot if you do the research. Like I said, I don't really care about R. Kelly. Yes, I still listen to his music. I still think...
What?
You're damn right.
We can't be friends.
Oh, really?
No, I'm...
Well, bye. yeah, get out.
I mean, but you've seen people do that kind of stuff. I'm like, why do you care who I listen to? Mind your business.
Exactly. And then, I was a grown adult in the 90s, and there's some memories to some of his songs, but now it does make me, question, what does that song really mean?
Well, yeah, I think everybody's there. Yeah. I questioned it then, especially when you heard about him and Aaliyah. It's like,
what's going on here? So... But this segment here is called The Wake Up Call. And don't forget to tune in to Demetra K at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday if you want to join the conversation and get in there and give her a piece of your mind.
Come on with it.
Exactly. I call this segment the Wake Up segment because what I want to talk about real quick, and it's not going to be a long segment, because everybody's been telling me, Don, when are you going to do your own show and get back to doing your own show on a regular basis? The thing is, I'm too damn tired. The holidays is over. My mom just left. All the food is, I'm eating all the food as fast as I can. And when you eat some good food, you want to sleep.
You got the itis.
Yeah, you want to roll over. So that so I've been doing that. So I don't want the food to go to waste. So I'm doing that. But this is called the Wake Up, and the Wake Up is this: we are going into a little over our third week in the shutdown. And I was on Pastor Don's show, and we talked about this a little bit because you have these so-called Christians. And so-called pagans, and so-called heathens, and wherever you want to call yourself. Oh my God, the shutdown! All my friends that are Trump supporters, crickets. Nothing's being said now.
Well, maybe they, thinking about all that hunger that's going to be upon them. God forbid they get a food stamp or something.
Well,
they're saving their energy.
Well, wait. They can't even get a food stamp because it's been shut down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So from what I understand, some people are already being affected by that.
Exactly. But, according to your leader, Trump, well, just talk to your creditor and maybe they'll do something. Yeah, go to the bank and say, hey, you know what, the government shut down, so they want their money.
And even some people who are on housing, the HUD has sent out letters to all the people or the landlords saying, hey, obviously, the shutdown going on, don't evict these people. But how many of those landlords will take heed to that?
Okay, and that's a good point, and that's why this is called the Wake Up, because this is what I want to tell people about. I'm trying to gentrify LA and get these niggas out. Don't you think that this would be the perfect time if I was a landlord to say, oh, you ain't paying your rent, you got to go. There's my loophole right there. But like we said on the Demetra K show, and we say on the shows all the time, if this does not wake you up, what will? Why are you going to let and I love what you said Sunday. Why are you dependent on somebody else
to take care of you, to feed you? I mean,
right?
And you know
and
what?
that just makes so much sense.
And this is going to sound kind of pessimistic on my behalf, but I don't think this is going to wake people up. You know what people are going to do?
What are you gonna do?
That energy that they have, they're going to spend it on the internet talking about, oh, my food stamps didn't come in. I don't understand what's going on. I need to feed my kids. And this, that, and the other. Instead of saying, let me log my black ass off. I'm speaking to black people. Let me log my black ass off. Let me try to figure out how I'm going to make ends meet. Let me figure out a strategy here besides lamenting about what another person is doing for your grown behind. You had these kids. And listen, I'm not talking to people who need the benefits, because at some point in time, everybody needs something. I'm talking about the people who have made it a lifestyle.
Right, exactly.
Why are you dependent on somebody? I mean, you had these children, whatever the case is, it's up to you to take care of them.
Right, and don't get me wrong, I believe in the social safety net, but it's not a lifestyle.
Right.
So if you've been on it for over 5 years, there's a problem. The problem is not the system. The problem is you.
Shit, 5 years is good compared to some of these people who've been out there.
Yeah, but you
10, 15
30
years.
years.
Yeah.
You know, your mama's on it, and now your mom's living with you because she got you addicted to living on the system, and now you guys are all in a situation, and this is what kills me. That's what I'm saying. This is the wake up. I don't think 2019 is going to be a banner year for a lot of people.
Well, like you said, it's a wake-up call, and I don't want to say the end, like the earth is going to explode, but the end is becoming near, in that the end of what some people will say the gravy train, or people just being able to sit around and not do for self, that's coming to an end. Where you're going to have to, and that's been what do you call it, theorized and projected, and I can't, the word escapes, but it's been said that was going to go on years and years ago, that we were going to end up here to where you're going to have the super rich,
right,
and then you're going to have the super poor, and the super rich are going to get so comfortable to a point to where they say, F you, super poor. We'll even have a shutdown for 3 weeks and you won't get paid. And obviously I'm not talking about, but we know that the middle class is really not even existing anymore.
There's no middle class. Because
so we're not going to, the shutdown's going on, you're not going to get your checks. But we still expect you to come to work. And guess what? If you needed some food stamps, well, you're gonna be on the wait list. That's not coming.
That's coming.
Allegedly now people can get their taxes, but then there's this other argument saying, well, that's not really legal. What Trump is trying to do.
He's trying to circumvent.
The shutdown.
Right.
So
if the government shut down, it's shut down.
So we've heard for years and years that we were gonna come here. We were gonna end up to this point, and yet we're still, like I said, we're that frog in the water. You're just getting hotter and hotter and hotter until we boil to death.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm going to say this about the shutdown, and we said this on your show. Pussy's going to be on a premium.
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to lie. I'm serious. Because it's going to get to a point to where people are going to get desperate. Baby needs formula. Baby needs diapers. Nobody's coming to save you. So for a lot of you women out there, you are now put yourself in a position to where a lot of men will start exploiting.
Well, you know that is all. If it's more supply than there's demand, you're gonna have to sell that pretty cheap. So, how much money are you really gonna be making?
Exactly.
For $5, girl, that's too much. Shit, I just got some from Homegirl for $4.50.
Exactly. I know we're laughing about, but it's serious. This is some serious stuff. And the thing is, this is our third shutdown in 3 years.
Right. And they said after Friday, it would be the longest.
The longest, right. But what I'm saying is, when are we going to prepare?
Well, at this point, though, we late if we're preparing.
Right.
If we're going to prepare now, we're late. You have to be... I think you'd already have to be ahead of the curve,
sure.
Especially by this point. I mean, especially if you're one of those people who are like, well, shit... The first is coming. I ain't gonna get no food stamp shit. And my cupboards are bare. I ain't got nothing in there. What am I gonna do? I ain't got no money. What am I gonna? I mean, you already behind the curve.
Right. And I know people are listening right now and they're saying, this nigga don't know what the hell he talking about. Well, look, I'm one of those niggas that has a government check because by law, just like the lawmakers, you gotta pay me.
Well, tell them how you got your government check, though.
Yeah, I had to go, and
don't make it seem like you just sitting up here like, shit, where my hood at?
Yeah. I had to put some stuff down to get it. But my point is, wake up. Why are you guys not working or not getting what you need from the government that you've paid into for some of us that have worked. But yet, notice that the Democrats, I haven't heard one Democrat say, I'm going to forego. Well, I've heard 2 or 3 of them, but as a majority.
Yeah, but how much money they got in the bank, though?
Right. But you know what I mean? But still, even just to identify with your constituents, I'm going to forego my check. Mark Chicano hasn't said one word about him not getting paid.
But again, I mean, you can forego your check because you don't pay for shit.
Right.
You know, they got living expenses.
Right.
You don't pay for nothing. And I'm sure you're getting money from back ends, lobbyists and stuff. So that's cute.
But here's the wake-up call. When are you, America, Inland Empire, Los Angeles, California, gonna stop listening to these Democrats and these politicians, these rob-publicans, I call them rob-publicans because they rob people, and say, we got to change these laws that are going to be more equitable so that they stop doing this stuff that they're doing. They're shutting down the government so that you can suffer. Wake up. They're not suffering. They're still getting their check. How does that happen? I'm a federal employee. I got to go to work, but I'm not getting a check. And then those that have been furloughed outright, there's no law or rule that says I have to pay you. So let's say this furlough goes on for 2 months. My mom is sitting at home. My mom's a government worker. A retired Army, but the point is she has a government job, geological survey. I'm going to pay her for 2 months for sitting on her ass?
What? I mean, hell, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault. But my point
I'd have
is...
went to work if wasn't no shutdown.
Right. But what I'm saying is, though, there is no rule that says you have to pay these people.
Right. Well...
And a lot of these government workers, like most Americans, live paycheck to paycheck. Now, on your show, you guys really got to tune in to the Demetra K show. And my Uncle Bennett even said this. Remember you told me about that guy that was from New York? He wrote a book. He was homeless. He lives in the Hamptons. And if we went to jail tomorrow, most people don't have the money to make the bail. Let's say it's $300.
I'm trying to think which one that was, what that was that I read. But yeah,
right, but you know what I'm saying? Most Americans, if you got arrested today... Sandra Bland, another example. She was arrested, and she was calling her family and friends to make bail. Bail was less than $300, and nobody had it. So a lot of us are living like that, myself included. I'm,
But don't quit lying.
Okay, but my point is, the majority of us are living like that.
You ain't gonna be selling no ass no time soon, okay?
But if any woman
you got about a 2-month reserve, I would say, before you
a little bit more
before you get out there and be like, wow.
Well, we'll put it like this. There was a feral cat that came up to my doorstep. I took him in,
I mean, that cat living better than some of these people out there. We come up to the door, he got a little hotel.
Set up, food, bowl, water. I name him Blackie. He's an all-black cat. He's a nice little cat, but, it's very rare that a cat come up to you. And the reason I did that, people, is because it's very cold outside. And I know that some people think, well, the animal's got fur.
It's cold outside.
Yeah. I know people that got jackets.
Yeah, it's cold.
And you're up in the mountains, and you're still shivering.
It's cold.
Okay,
it's cold.
So I set him up in a little spot, and at night he'll come and lay down. And he's a decent cat. But if you have a feral cat, you should not feed the feral cat because you want the feral cat to get the mice and stuff.
But you feeding the cat, though.
Yeah, I'm feeding them because, it's cold. They want to have a nice meal.
Hey, you ain't got to explain nothing to me, brother.
And then I killed all the gophers and stuff around here.
Right,
so I killed all that off. So just give them a nice little meal and stuff like that to be nice to them. But I wish I had that empathy for people. But see, I don't because...
Oh, damn.
I don't because here we are, intelligent so-called creatures that have a voice, and we let these people rob us deaf, dumb, and blind. Going back to... the wake up. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to have enough of taking it with no Vaseline?
I just think, again, a lot of us are just that frog in the pot. Mm-hmm. We're that frog where for guys that have not heard that analogy, when you put a frog into the water and you turn it on slowly but surely, the frog is like, gosh, it's getting warm in here.
But it feels good.
Yeah, I'm comfortable. It's not too uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable, but I don't feel like changing the situation. Right. And eventually the water gets all the way up to the frog boils to death. And I just think that's us. Mm-hmm. As a society, we just, you made a perfect example a while back in saying that the gas prices, shot up so high. And everybody's,
nobody voted on it.
But then when it did come time to vote about the gas tax and stuff, everybody voted against getting rid of it.
Right.
How did that happen? Or to the other side of that, the gas is so high, and they put it up 5 cents this day, 5 cents the next day. Oh, gotta take it again. But you keep pulling up to the pump. You keep pulling up to the pump and giving them the money, and then you drive off and you come back tomorrow, and then you do it all over again. So, but it's like, what else are you going to do about it?
Right. It's all over but the hollering and the screaming.
Yeah, you know, and I just think people are just so used to that to where I don't even think people know how to take action anymore.
Exactly.
I don't think people know really what to do. I just think we're stuck.
You know, and, you know, I was talking to Pastor Don, and some businessman. Pastor Don has a good business thing, and he asked me the question, you know, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, whatever her name is, but they go by AOC, so let's just call her AOC. AOC wants to tax the rich 70%. All the Republicans and rich people are like, oh my God,
yeah,
no!
I heard that. Yeah.
People.
70%.
70% is what was the normal up until the 1980s.
And that's what she was saying. Yeah.
That was normal. And notice back in those days, when the rich people were paying that 70%, the roads were nice. The infrastructure was nice.
Now it's flipped.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's completely
and they're
flipped.
still complaining about the 35% that they're paying now. They want to pay less.
Yeah, it is completely flipped.
Where's the wake up? Where's the wake up?
It's always like you said, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, we ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I get like this every once in a while. It almost makes you just want to tap out and just go do you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm just gonna go do me. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna go do. I mean, we should be doing that anyway. But I'm saying just completely just disconnect from all the bull caca.
But see, that's what they want you to do, because even though you disconnect and you live in this country, where are you gonna go? You still got to pay the taxes.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But you know, at least y'all suffer in silence.
Right.
I suffer in peace.
Exactly.
You know. And you know, to your point of wake up call, you try to wake people up, and people are just, wow. I don't want to do it, but I want somebody else to do it for me. And, which is why I think we are in the habit of electing politicians who have all the rah-rah, I'm gonna, and we just wait and all this other stuff. And we're like, yeah, because I don't really want to do it myself, but I want you to do it for me. And then when they get in there and say, well, I know I said I was going to do that.
Aunt Maxine.
Right.
Impeach him. You haven't heard her say a word.
Right, but you see it on Facebook, though. These memes of her, guess who, karma's a bitch. Guess who's the head of the finance
Reclaiming
committee.
my time.
All that other stuff. But it's like you said, well, everybody else is saying it, but she ain't saying nothing.
Nothing.
All right, we come on. We waiting, Maxine. Come on.
Same coin, two different sides. These parties are and they got you tricked. I mean, and what's really bad about it? That's why I keep calling this the wake up. They're doing it right in your face, and you're not doing anything about it. Now, people say, well, you ain't doing nothing either, nigga.
Is that what they're saying?
That's what they're saying about me right now,
Okay.
right? I am doing something. I started a radio show. I put it out on YouTube. The government knows who I am.
Right, exactly. You know, I'm out here taking risks.
Right.
Okay?
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. And then oftentimes, when you're doing something, it doesn't have to be where everybody knows about it.
Exactly.
And I'm really big on this too, because people will say to you, well, in your words, nigga, what you doing?
Right.
But when they're asking you that, what they're really asking you is,
don't find out I ain't doing nothing.
Well, no, but are you saving the world? How many countries have you saved? How many neighborhoods have you taken by storm? But instead of saying, well, how many people have you helped on an individual basis? Because if I take some of the resources I have and just help one person, I'm doing a big thing. And I tell people that all the time. And for those people who follow the Bible, it tells you not to do those things in public because, for one, it takes the glory
away from God.
Yeah, from God, and then it makes it all on you. Well, look what I did. I helped this person. I did this, which you did, but also it's a very humbling thing for a person who is down and out on their luck to have to receive help. And then nowadays, because we have the internet, everybody's I'm at McDonald's, and look at this homeless guy.
Yeah.
He was starving and shivering in the cold, and I came and got him a chicken McNugget.
Right. Pat myself on the back.
Yeah, it's like, what is that about? So is that about you, the act that you did, or is that about you?
Exactly.
And so the point that I'm making is you don't have to be out there saving the whole world. Just start with one person.
One person. You know, yesterday I was talking to a young lady. I went to my dentist, and it's real funny. I went to my dentist Thursday through the VA, right? My VA
Your
dentist.
government benefits.
Right, using my government benefits. But guess what? Them people are working because you got to think about this. How many military veterans are in America? Let's say 17 million of us are armed and trained to kill.
Right.
You're going to pay those
we
people.
want y'all to be cool.
Yes.
Be cool.
You're going to pay those people.
We don't need y'all turning
Right.
up.
That's why the law has it the way it is. We're going to get paid regardless of what's going on.
Make sure their medicine
Yes,
keeps
kicks
showing
in
up,
and stuff
auto
like
refill.
that. 17 million plus of us. So I'm 100% disabled. Rightly so, because I'm legitimately disabled. I know I look like I'm normal, but I'm really not.
He's crazy.
Right. So I'm getting my teeth cleaned over there, right? I get it done, Everything's great. Teeth are great. Perfect. Monday comes, yesterday. I have to go to my civilian dentist because I'm on the TRICARE.
Oh, wow. You poor thing.
Yes,
So you
I got my
another
TRICARE.
cleaning.
He wanted to check everything. Boom, perfect. Right? Everything's good. But the girl that was sitting there, she was like, oh, wow, you were in the military. Because Dr. Carlisle, my doctor, he's a dependent of, his dad was in the military. And he became, used the dad's benefits and stuff and went on and became a dentist. She's like, yeah, I really want to be a dentist. And this is the assistant, what do you call it, the oral? Hygienist. And she's like, yeah, I was thinking about this. And she's like, I just don't know what I need to do. And I said, look, I can't give you any advice, but I'm going to tell you this. If you look at what's going on, youngster, millennial, I said, Kmart just folded. Sears is going to be right behind it. Well, that's the parent company, same company. All those pensions that they have to pay out, now those people who are getting $2,000 is probably getting $1,200 backed by the government. There are no jobs for you. If you really want to be a dentist, I'm not saying join the military, but I said if you need an option, go into the ROTC program. They will pay for your stuff. Give them the first thing I don't want to be in combat. I said, how many dentists have you seen? They say, here's a gun.
Right. Go drill somebody.
Yeah. I said, they don't do that. I said, if you have a skill that is something that's going to benefit you later, and that's your only route, she's a Hispanic girl. I said, come on, we don't have black and brown people. We don't have the same options as other people. I said, look, if that's what you really want to do, go ahead and do that. Especially if you're looking at a financial burden. But I said, look around you. The only jobs that are here, especially here in California, are services jobs. People say, what are services jobs? Warehousing, restaurants, amusement parks. That's your option.
And shit, I just heard Disneyland went up
25%. It's $125, y'all, to go into the original Disneyland. $25 for parking and at least $100, depending if you're young or old, to get a ticket into the park.
I don't never want to see Mickey Mouse that bad. Never.
I'm telling you. It's
But the point that I was making is, people, like you said, is warehouses, restaurants, and amusement parks. Mm-hmm. And hell, pretty soon, average American ain't going to be able to take their kids to Disneyland.
No. See, you're wrong right there. They don't. Because the most people that go to Disneyland are from other countries.
Right. Right. So, I remember back in the day when my daughter was 3, she's 26 now. I took her, my niece, my nephew, my mom, and my friend of mine. We went to Disneyland and spent getting in and eating $300 that whole day.
That whole day. Had fun. Now, I remember when my mom used to work at Disneyland, and you're a little too young because, you're only 27. But they used to give you the tickets.
I remember.
And you get the book. And
I was telling Al about that. He said, what?
Yeah, you had to get certain areas and stuff.
My dad took us and you had to, if whatever rides you wanted to get, you had to get
the ticket. You run out of the ticket, you had to go buy some more.
He was like, what? I said, yeah.
That's how it used to be, and it was the happiest place on earth. You go to Disneyland now, the employees are miserable.
Well, I haven't been to Disneyland in 23 years,
miserable.
but
they hate it.
It was crowded back then, so I can imagine.
It's still crowded now, but I'm talking about the maybe it's the millennials because they think that they should make a certain amount of money. Disneyland doesn't even employ full-time people anymore.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But I don't think it's that they're miserable because, maybe they're miserable a little bit because they have to work there.
They have to work
but I think maybe because the average consumer is a miserable SOB.
Yes.
That's why I said I couldn't, God knows, not to put me in no customer service.
Yes. You gotta know yourself.
Because the way these customers are now, they have this false sense of entitlement. We just saw last week where a black girl at McDonald's was snatched up over the counter by this dude. And you know, it's like, what about this job makes you think you could put your hands on me?
Right.
And you wanted a straw.
Mm-hmm.
It was over a straw.
Over a straw. He
It
snapped.
wasn't because she burnt up your Big Mac.
Right.
I can understand it if it was that. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
A straw? You gonna
straw.
ratch up and grab me?
And here's what a lot of people don't realize. That old saying, the customer is always right,
They're
that,
not.
That doesn't apply. They're not always right. Especially when it comes to the airline business. I need to get to my destination. Do you want to get there alive or dead?
Right.
You know, so
I mean,
you're not
'cause
always right.
I get the ideology of the customer's always right, in that if you have that in your mind, then you probably will avoid a confrontation. And even if they get to acting stupid, now they put your hands on. That's a
whole different ball game there.
we wipe and clean all that stuff we learned in the manual
Right.
and orientation. But I think that's really to say, okay, the customer, sometimes they're gonna be stupid. They're gonna have stupid stuff to say, but never come out of your position
Right.
unless you put your hand. That's
Yeah.
a different story.
Yeah, just walk away, get the manager or the supervisor. But it's really sad you got some cowardly supervisor. Oh no, you handle that.
Well, looking at the receipt, you can see on the thing,
Right.
it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, remember that movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and the guy was like, Brad, this isn't the greatest breakfast I've ever had, so I like my money back. And Judge Reinhold was like, well, sir, you're already eating half the meal, and da-da-da-da. And the customer started getting more irate, and then Judge Reinhold was like, look, sir, if you keep up, I'm going to kick 100% of your ass. And then the supervisor comes out and says, is there a problem here? Is there anything we can do for you, sir?
Right. Well, that's what customers.
You're fired.
But right, but that's what customers. I know that was like a stretch, but that's what customer service really is supposed to be. You're supposed to give the customer the best service possible. Now, if they're acting like an ass, then put them out. But don't make your employees have to be subjected to nonsense.
Exactly.
Refuse that person the service.
And then always look at where you're working. If you're at McDonald's, and I'm not downing them, like I said, I like their fries. Other than that, I don't really deal with anything else. But you're gonna get a few crazies in there.
Well, I haven't been in a McDonald's in. It's been probably shit longer than that, like 7-8 years.
7-8 years, yeah. So I mean, you know, especially when I saw that movie.
Super Size Me.
Super Size Me. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So, but again, wake up. When are we gonna wake up? Where's the outrage? Because especially when a government shutdown happens, who does it affect first? The government shutdown affects the bottom to the top, not the other way around.
Yep.
And who's at the bottom?
We are. Get mad if you want to, boo. That's the facts.
That's the facts. Now, you don't see any Asians up in arms right now.
Well, because they got their own network.
They got their own network. They own their own businesses, like you said on your show. They go and get that 10, 15-pound bag of rice and say, hey,
we making breakfast cereals, some sweet rice, and for lunch we having some rice and fish or whatever they do, and then for dinner we gonna make us some rice bowls, and then tomorrow we gonna zhuzh it up.
Now,
just being economically savvy.
Now, when you said that, what was the key word that you said?
I don't know. I said a whole
make.
Other. Oh yeah.
Black people, especially these young millennials, they don't cook.
I was just having this conversation with one of my nephews yesterday. I had to put my head in my hand because it's just like, I don't understand some of these young. I don't understand the young people in general lately.
They don't cook.
They don't know how. They don't want to. Nope. They don't want to know how to clean. No. And I told my nephew, I said, a woman who won't clean her house, damn sure ain't cleaning her ass. Okay.
Thank you.
And we was having this conversation.
And that's a truthful statement.
I don't think he gonna listen to this, so everybody gonna know who I'm talking about. I don't think.
Sure.
Because I got a lot of nephews.
Yeah.
He was saying how his wife is super lazy. And I seen her to be lazy.
And you didn't know that before?
Lazy. L-A-Z-Y.
Was she the princess of her family?
I don't know. Okay. But I actually started the conversation with him. I said, well, your woman is lazy. And he says, yeah, you know, and when she says, when the baby comes, you know, that I'm going to have to get up in the middle of the night, even though I'm the one working and she's not.
Wait. Is the punani that good, brother? Because if it is, pass it.
Oh, I said, and that's what I said. I don't understand these young girls. I said, if you stand at home with the child and your man is going to work, that is your job.
Right, to make sure he has enough strength to go and
you take care of the baby in the home. But I said, these little girls, they little girls to me. I said, but these little girls now are lazy as hell. They don't like, oh God, I had a baby and I can't do anything. I'm never no good, no more. I can't do anything. Can you get me some water? Can you do this for me? And the child is 10 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or I'm working at the gym. I'm working the baby fat up. The child is 15 years old.
Right. And it's like I told him, I said, nephew, I don't like to speak no negativity on nobody. I said, but you are doomed. I said, because that's who she is. I said, she lazy. She not going to ever want to do nothing. I said, she completely expects for you to get up with that child.
Well, ask him this. Was she lazy in the bed?
Well,
that'll tell you a lot too.
Originally, in the first couple of times, it's like, wham,
gotcha.
Snatching your edges out and shit. But after that, it's like,
Here it is.
But yeah, and I ain't talking about old people. I'm talking about people in their young 20s. Just lazy.
Sad. It's a very
But
sad
I said, you know what? I don't blame them as much as I blame their mamas, because the mamas, and yes, I'm speaking to women right now, the mamas have not instilled just the basics in their girls. Mm-hmm. Learn how to cook. Learn how to wash your ass. Learn how to clean your house. It's like a regimen to everything.
If you talk to a real man, they will tell you to get to him, if you can cook and clean and do all that other stuff.
The basics.
Just basically, you got us.
Yes.
You got us.
I mean, like I was telling my daughter, because I've always taught her these things. Like myself personally, I have a regimen. Every Saturday, I
deep clean.
Well, that, but I also take care of myself. Depending on how my hair is, I wash it. I'll do my nails every weekend, my feet and my hands. I mean, there's just certain things you do. I said, but that was taught to me.
Right.
It wasn't, well, I'm gonna walk around with a bunch of chip nail polish for 2 weeks, and I'm just funky, and I haven't done the things you're supposed to do. I said that was taught to me, and I said, unfortunately, these young girls don't have a mama who have taught those things to them, and so now they get with these dudes who have their fathers haven't taught them. Listen, don't be with no woman who got a nasty house. Don't be with a woman who can't put 2 eggs in a pan or whatever the case is.
Right. A quick story, as we say that, and like you said, it's true. It's taught. My father, before he passed, I have my 2 cousins. So my brother, me, we're like one behind each other. Penny lane.
Yeah.
Right. We're all 1 year apart. Between each other, as we come down the line. Now these are his nieces. He used to jump on my aunt when she tried to let those girls go outside without their hair being done. That was his pet peeve. You cannot let these girls go out the house.
And rightfully so. Why would you?
Sometimes you want to be like, I want to do it. My dad insisted. Yeah. And then he used to do that to my mom. That was when the Afro days. You going to pick these boys' hair.
Because a woman's children, I know they say a woman's hair is her glory. I say, okay, to some degree, but I think a woman's children are her glory. Because when your children go out the house and they are disheveled and they're dirty, that represents you.
My dad used to go ballistic.
Because your dad also knew, first of all, these children deserve better, but also that's a representation on us if we send our children out there looking all
crazy,
a mess and stuff. Nobody cares about them. Like they ain't got a mama or daddy at home.
I mean, what I heard was my father and my mom used to argue. Not that my mom was like trifling like that, but like my mother's a Catholic, my dad's a Methodist. So my mom, being a housewife at the time, she would try to save time, and I was really young, my brother was really young, and we would all bathe in the tub together. My dad was like, no, absolutely,
Well, we used to do that too when we were little.
But that's a cultural thing in your religion, whatever the deal is. But he knew his place and she knew her place. So she said, look, this is how I'm going to do it. If you want to come in here and do this,
do it your way.
Do it your way, right? And then when y'all say that, that's when we go, okay,
right.
But
because I really wasn't trying to do it, I was trying to tell you what to do.
Exactly,
right.
But you're right. Laziness. I run across some 30-year-old girls, 35 women supposedly, that can't cook. And the minute I find that out, I gotta go.
And it's like because you ain't, and not that she. But I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm one of those women who cook for my man.
Right. Okay.
He don't cook unless he really wants to. He don't do no dishes because that's just how I was raised. It's my pleasure. I don't have a problem with any.
It doesn't make you any less of a woman. But go ahead.
Yeah, and so I get what you're saying. It's not like you can't cook for yourself, but damn, lady, you don't know how to cook.
All I'm asking you is just to do the basics of a woman.
We can't. I mean, we could go out to eat every night, but why?
Right.
Why do that? We have money in our bank and all kind of stuff. But if we make the food at home, but yeah, I question that too. How is you this old and you don't know how to cook?
Okay, look, you got to remember. I want steak. I want champagne. We can buy 3 or 4 or 5 steaks at the store and cook it here.
And hell with Google, don't nobody have an excuse not to know how to cook.
You got the instructions right there. But the point is, you want all that, you can do that. We can cook it ourselves and stay at home and just enjoy each other, and save that money and go do something else. I mean, 2 steaks alone is going to cost me, at a good restaurant, it's going to cost me at least $60.
At least, okay?
A nice meal setting and stuff like that. I mean, there was a restaurant I went to in Redlands. Beautiful restaurant, very small, very intimate and stuff like that, but very expensive, but worth it. The food was really good. But that cost me $70-something.
Right.
So you got to think about that. But we have to get to a point where we're going to have to start waking up. And how do you wake up? Start listening to shows like the Demetra K Show. There's a lot of good shows out there that you can listen to. And don't forget, we're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and tune into that. People say, well, because somebody called me and said, or texted me, they said, well, I can't find it. In the search engine, put in the Demetra K Show, or just put in Demetra K, and it should pop up. I've sent you the link, so it's there. We know it's there.
Right.
So and you can do that, and it's a very powerful thing. But we have to stop being dependent on somebody else feeding us and doing for us. Nobody's coming to save us, and Dee has been saying that for over a year now. Nobody is coming to save us but us, and we need to start waking up.
SOS, save ourselves.
Save ourselves. I mean,
SOBS. Save our black selves.
Yes, save our black asses.
Right,
SOBA.
right.
We've had a shutdown every year in the Trump administration. Basically, this guy, and just think about this, people. We got a couple of minutes left. Just think about this. If you're not raising alarms right now, we're going into a month without it, what do you think that they're going to think about on Capitol? How do you know this ain't a test to see, well, let's see how much money we
Let's
can
see
save.
just how these frogs deal in this water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what? Since you ain't hollering about how much you're suffering and demanding that the government reopens, maybe we could cut back on the budget a little bit on some of their benefits.
Absolutely.
How about that?
Yeah, because a homegirl was just getting about $700 in food stamps. So
she ain't hollering right now.
Right.
So
Let's see if we can give her $350.
Yeah. Let's see if she's gonna survive off of that. I just want you guys to think about that
right now. Give me $100.
Give me $50. That'll make a difference in my life. I'm
a vegan, shoot.
Yes.
I'll make it go far.
Yes. But this is what we're trying to tell you guys. Think about these things. Nobody is going to come to save us. And I am sick and tired of seeing what I perceive to be fully capable, working young people. I don't care if you got a child or not. I wish there were programs now to where you can take your child to a community college and they have daycare provided free and you can go get your education because you're on the system.
They have that.
I know, but back in the day they did.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to say, they have that already?
When my mom was by herself and had 2 boys?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And you guys aren't taking advantage of that?
Well, Grandma, can you watch it? I got a class. And that's every day you trying to find somebody who will watch your child.
Day. And you guys aren't taking advantage of that? Some of you guys have been on the system for 5 to 10 years now. And you don't have an education.
I don't know.
Come on now.
Me personally, I could never be comfortable with that.
Come on now. And then you wonder why people get upset. Nobody's coming to save us, everybody. Wake up. And let me give you a hint. Here's the alarm. There is the school bell. Wake up.
Wake up!
Just like the movie. Wake up. They are getting to a point where they're tired of our black bullshit.
Right.
It's as simple as that. I'm sorry to call it out, but that's what's happening. This is a test. Every year, a government shutdown over bullshit?
Well, and now it's because Trump can't get his way.
Well, we know that, but it could still be a test bed. We don't have a full-time national security writer. We don't have a full-time defense secretary.
And good luck trying to fly and somebody don't put a shoe bomb on the plane because TSA is calling off.
Most of your TSA is part-time employees. What is that telling you guys? They're trying to run a government on a shoestring operation.
Yeah, let me go and just walk to where I got to go.
And let me tell you this about Republicans. Since Republicans think that government needs to get out of the way, why are Republicans always running for the government?
So they can tell you that people need to get out of
the way.
Get
out of the way, exactly. So, second hour, we're going to be dealing with DK. And what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to talk about the R. Kelly situation a little bit more.
A little bit more? Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to just field some of you guys' questions. But you guys, seriously, 2019, I think, is not going to be a joke year. If you guys don't get your shit together, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
All right, we'll see you guys in the second hour. Stand by.